right, it appears we are live. Council Clerk, do we have a quorum? I only see Miller. I don't see Conwell yet.
We have a quorum. We have to give it about a minute though for it to actually go live on YouTube.
Okay.
Councilwoman Conwell is here.
Okay, Councilwoman Conwell. All right, I want to be respectful of everyone's time. It's 2 minutes after 10, so I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the Human Resource Appointment and Equity Committee meeting. Today is Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. Council Clerk, will you please call the roll?
On the roll, Ms. Brown.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Ms. Conwell.
Present.
Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Very much. Council Clerk, was there any public comment submitted?
No, Madam Chair, no one submitted any public comment.
Thank you so much. I'll make a motion to approve the February 16th meeting. Do I have a second?
Second, Miller.
And seconded by Miller. If there are no questions, comments, or concerns, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Matters referred to committee. Council Clerk, indictment to the record, please.
Resolution number 2021-0061, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Sharna Sherman to serve on the Cuyahoga Arts and Culture Board of Trustees for the term April 1st, 2021 to March 31st, 2024.
And I understand Ms. Holly, Deputy Director Holly, is standing in for Director Pomerantz. So if you will kindly unmute yourself, give us a little bit of background about this appointment as well as the candidate, please.
Good morning, everyone. Madam Chair, on behalf of County Executive Armin Budish, we submit the following nomination for reappointment to the Cuyahoga Arts and Culture Board of Trustees. The Cuyahoga Arts and Culture Board of Trustees is authorized by Ohio Revised Code Chapter 3381, is the public funder for arts and culture events, and has awarded over 1,200 grants to more than 300 organizations serving Cuyahoga County residents. The board consists of 5 members appointed by the county executive, subject to council confirmation.
I'll ask my colleagues if you have any questions for Deputy Director Holly.
Yes, I have a question.
Councilman Miller.
To Ms. Holly, I know that there has been some reorganization among the various arts and culture organizations in Cuyahoga County within the last year or so, and I'm wondering whether any of that has affected the Arts and Culture Board.
Through Madam Chair to Councilman Miller, I am not sure right off the top of my head, but I can get that information for you.
It appears Ms. Paulson is on the line, and I think she's prepared to give you a lifeline. So if you'll state your name for the record and please respond to Councilman Miller's questions, we welcome you to the meeting if you'll proceed.
Good morning. Good to see you again, Dale. Yes, my name is Jill Paulson. I'm the Executive Director of Cuyahoga Arts and Culture. I'm pleased to be here today as we move forward with the hopeful reappointment of our current board president, Sharna Sherman. CAC is its own subdivision, as Deputy Director Holly just noted. We are currently working through, and Councilman Miller, what you might be referring to is this Emerging Arts Alliance, which I know Charno might be able to speak to as well in her comments. But this is a structure that will leave CAC as a public agency untouched structurally, but what it's going to do is us working with a nonprofit that will emerge in the coming months that will really be better equipped to serve the entire creative economy. So we're talking nonprofits, creative businesses, and artists. And so while it doesn't change structurally what CAC does because we're a public entity, we will in effect double our capacity to do more for the community because we'll be working hand in hand, lockstep. There's actually Anya Joe on this call who I know with a different hat has been also helpful with us in this work, but it's an exciting thing that's forthcoming, but nothing that will immediately shift our work other than I hope we'll expect and plan to do a lot more working together with others. Is that enough of a detail? And then I know maybe in questions it will come up for Ms. Sherman.
That's helpful, thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, if there are no further questions for Deputy Director Holly or Ms. Paulson, then I will ask our candidate, Ms. Sherman, to unmute yourself. State your name for the record. Give us a little background about yourself and why you would like to continue to serve in this capacity.
Good morning on this sunny second day of March. I am Charna Sherman, and I am currently board chair of Cuyahoga Arts and Culture. I have the good fortune of previously appearing before Chairwoman Brown, Councilwoman Conwell, and Councilman Miller. It's nice to see you again, and it's very nice to meet Councilman Gallagher and Sweeney. I would like to begin, if I can, with a message of deep gratitude on behalf of the arts and culture community. As you all know, this has been a particularly devastating pandemic from the vantage point of this sector. And your support for significant CARES dollars, not once, but notably twice, is greatly appreciated, and I assure you, really made a difference. It has truly been one of the great privileges of my life to serve on the CAC board. Although my service started amidst somewhat challenging times for the board, I'm very proud to report that the hard work we have engaged in on multiple fronts for multiple years before the pandemic has been pivotal to navigating this last year. We squarely and openly confronted declining tax revenues, and as a result, we were in the rare position to keep the budgets for our grantees steady, and we were able to make our grants early when they were needed most. We also openly and aggressively took on serious historical inequities to ensure that all of Cuyahoga County shares in CAC dollars, and that all of the citizens in the county can participate in a variety of ways. And I am personally grateful to the county executive, his staff, and all of you who have helped us for the first time in CAC history seat a CAC board with a minority majority. I can even report that out of these hard times, this special arts and culture community has come together to construct a significant silver lining. As Councilman Miller noted, our diverse community over the last number of years has united in efforts to launch what was once thought unimaginable, the creation of a greater Cleveland Arts Alliance, so that we can better align voices of the entire sector and more effectively meet their needs. And in the next few months, our plans are set to become a reality, as Jill noted, with Ina Jo's help. One of the most important aspects of this new entity will be the opportunity for more of the arts and culture community to meaningfully participate in planning and strategizing for the sector, and for there to be more transparency and a far greater breadth of participation in advising the CAC on funding priorities and guidelines. The GCAA will also offer leadership in raising needed new revenue streams for CAC. I could easily go on, but want to be mindful of your time. Do you have any specific questions that I can answer for any of you?
Thank you for your presentation, and thank you for your willingness to continue to serve in this capacity. I do have one question. I see my colleague, Councilman Miller, has unmuted himself, so I will yield to Councilman Miller.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you very much for your service to the arts community. And I have two questions, and it's if you could comment on two proposals that I've heard circulating around of late. And the first one is that Cuyahoga County government should create an arts and culture plan for the county. And the second one is that Cuyahoga County government should create its own arts and culture department.
Councilman Miller, this is exactly the kinds of proposals that we hope the new GCAA is going to address. And in fact, one of the motivating reasons to establish it was to get an appropriate organization that could come up with a cultural plan where all parts of the community, not just the nonprofit parts of the community, but the for-profit parts of the creative sector could participate as well. And we are very excited that we believe we have been able to pull together an incredibly diverse board. We're currently looking for an executive director, and I think it will be incredibly an exciting time to respond to actually both of the proposals that you've indicated.
So thank you. And would you see the arts and culture plan as something being developed by the Alliance or being developed by the county government or by the two working collaboratively? What do you think?
Well, the whole point of the Arts Alliance is for everyone to work collaboratively with CAC, with the county government, and with the entire creative economy. So I can't tell you in advance what the cultural plan might ultimately look like, but what I do know and what I feel confident about is that there will be a breadth of input and participation in a transparent way that will ultimately lead, I believe, to the most productive and promising results for the county.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Miller. Are there any other questions from the committee? By the way, the councilman asked one of the questions that I had. So are there any other questions from the committee?
Sweeney. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. To our presenter, I'm Marty Sweeney. How long has this been in existence? When was it created? Because I just, in the very early stages, I had a role in it. I just want to remember how long it's been.
Well, Cuyahoga Arts and Culture, we're now in the middle of our second levy. So that's 15 years approximately.
Got it. And thank you. During the process, I was excited when we passed it. There was a nice revenue stream, and then there was a significant cutback because of the lack of revenue going into those entities. And then we hit the pandemic. And at one point, maybe a couple of years ago, through the chair, there was a scuttlebutt about the scoring. It kind of changed. Has that all calmed down a little bit in regards to the awards?
Well, I think you're mixing some apples and some oranges, but that's fine. Let me see if I can divvy them up for you. We have various buckets of funding. We have what we call GOS grants, which are general operating dollars for mostly some of our more long time, oftentimes larger institutions where we offer operating support. We then also have project support where we fund specific projects of varying sizes across the community. I think the scuttlebutt that you are referencing is actually exactly when I came on the board, and it had to do with a particular grant we gave to an agency that at the time was called CPAC, and they awarded arts prizes because we cannot legally fund artists directly. We made grants to a nonprofit organization who awarded those prizes. And there was a growing sense that that mechanism really wasn't fair enough and didn't reach the breadth of the artist community. And we have restructured it and done so incredibly successfully. And we have a myriad new ways for artists to be able to participate in grant programs. And we've gotten incredibly positive feedback from that. And our hope is that the GCAA, one, will be taking the lead in significant new revenue streams coming to CAC, and in addition, might be involved in various other artist support programs that we cannot do, but that they legally will be able to do.
Thank you for that, Madam Chair. Thank you for that explanation, because I haven't heard anything negative for a long time. But I was just in the back of my head that was still swirling around. There was a little bit of a concern, and we used the word scuttlebutt twice. I probably will never use that again. And for everybody watching, I'm using my iPad for the first time. That's why it says Peyton Summers on the bottom. I'm going to have my daughter address it to say Martin J. Sweeney in the future. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and thank you for your answers.
Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns for Ms. Sherman? All right, if there are none, thank you so much, Ms. Sherman, for coming. We always appreciate our candidates coming before us, and we know your work. You've done a great job, and I trust that this body will gladly continue to support your candidacy. So with that, I will make a motion to move this to the full body of the council under second reading suspension. Do I have a second?
Second, Miller.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? If there are none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, and if we understand if you have to depart, we know everyone has a very busy schedule, so thank you for joining us today. Council Clerk, if you read the next item into the record.
Thank you for the privilege.
Resolution number 2021-0062, confirming the county executive's appointment of Suzanne Hamilton to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community Improvement Corporation Board of Trustees for the term March 10, 2021 to March 9, 2024.
All right, thank you very much, Council Clerk. I'll turn it over to Deputy Director Holly. If you'll give us a little bit of background and share with us a little bit about the candidate.
Yes, thank you. Madam Chair, pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 1724, on behalf of the County Executive, we are pleased to nominate the following individual for appointment to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community Improvement Corporation's Board of Trustees. The Cuyahoga County Community Improvement Corporation was incorporated in 1982 for the sole purpose of advancing, encouraging, and promoting the industrial, economic, commercial, and civic development of Cuyahoga County. The corporation serves as Cuyahoga County's review agent for industrial, revenue, bond financing, and economic development lending activity. Board members serve a 3-year term, and in addition to Ms. Hamilton being here today, we also have Paul Herdig from Development, who was able to answer any questions in regards to the background or the board.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll open it up to my colleagues if there are any questions for Director Holly or Mr. Herdig. All right, if there are none, then I will ask Ms. Hamilton to unmute yourself and share with us a little bit of your background as well as why you'd like to serve on the trustee board.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. I have been serving on the banking committee for GCP and learned of this group through a conversation with several members, and was asked to consider whether I would be willing to participate and be nominated. I was eager to say yes. I have a formal education and an MBA in accounting and finance, and for nearly 30 years have been in the banking and commercial real estate community in a finance capacity. My primary role in my job as Senior Vice President at Erie Bank is lending on commercial real estate. And I've been in the Cleveland area since 1998. And during which time I have fallen in love with this region. I have to say, I'm not from the area, but from Ohio. And the development and activity that has occurred since I came to this community has been inspiring. And I lovingly call Cleveland my home. So based on my experience, I've also served on several national and local boards as a finance professional and in other leadership positions. So I think this is right up my alley, so to speak. And I'm pleased to have been recommended to be nominated for the county as a trustee and to contribute my skill set to the loan committee process.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, we can't hear you.
Hear me now? I may have a bad connection here.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Are there any questions from my colleagues for Ms. Hamilton? All right, Councilman Sweeney.
More of a procedural one, just for my edification, Madam Chairwoman. How did we find you? Did you see it somewhere and posted it, or did the county administration say we'd want you, or was it a competitive interview process? I'm just curious because you seem pretty awesome.
Thank you. Having served on that banking committee with Greater Cleveland Partnership, both Callie Cripps and then Michael May asked me to submit my resume, and Callie, especially with ongoing years of experience working with me on projects, advised me to Mr. May, and then he and others received my information and chatted about it. I also had a call with Armand Budish, and it just went from there. I had no idea about this process. And again, having been exposed to many of the projects through my own financing or those of my counterparts, it was very interesting to see these different lending programs that the county has that have been part of projects I've been involved with, and those that I've seen go up in Cleveland and the region. So it was an eye opener for me, and also I admire and respect the people I see on the trustee list, and was eager to be considered for an addition to that list.
Madam Chairwoman, I think we're very blessed to have the people that found you, find you and recommend you. So thank you very much and welcome aboard after the vote.
Thank you. I agree with that. Mr. Hurdick, if you could just give us a little bit more background and let us know how what the numbers are on the Board of Trustees, how many people are appointed, and who Ms. Hamilton will be replacing.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of council. The Board of the Community Improvement Corporation is set up to have 6 private sector members and 5 county representatives. Some of the county representatives are here. Khalil is one. Michelle Pomerantz is not here, but is another one. In choosing those we wish to seek to ask the executive to nominate for the private sector members, we lean heavily towards the banking industry because it's an important function of the Community Improvement Corporation Board to review the major economic development loans that the county makes before they're made. And we draw on the expertise of our private sector members particularly. So current members from the private sector are Michael Obey, Richard Perry, Brian Hall, Jeff Bechtel, Radhika Reddy, Anthony Tavrell, all of whom are in the private sector doing lending work. Ms. Reddy has indicated she does not wish to continue, and so with council's approval, Ms. Hamilton would replace Ms. Reddy as one of the private sector members of the board.
All right, thank you very much. Hope that also gives you a little bit more context. Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns regarding Ms. Hamilton's nomination? If there are none, I will make a motion to move this to the full body of the council for second reading suspension. Do I have a second?
Second, Conwell.
It's been seconded by Councilwoman Conwell. If there are no questions, comments, or concerns, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hamilton, for coming and your willingness to serve. We understand that the people have busy schedules, so if you have to depart, we appreciate you coming before us today.
Thank you very much. I look forward to it.
All right, Council Clerk, if you'll read the next item into the record, please. And I'm not sure if you're reading, but
I was reading. Sorry about that. Resolution number 2021-0063, confirming the county executive's appointment of Ina Jo Davis Chappelle to serve on the Metro Health System Board of Trustees for the term March 10, 2021 to March 9, 2027.
Deputy Director Holly.
Yes, thank you. Madam Chair, to the committee, pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Chapter 339, on behalf of County Executive Armand Budish, we submit the following nomination for service on the Metro Health Board. Shall be electors and representative of the area served by the hospital, except that not more than 2 members may be electors of the area served by the hospital that is outside the county in which the hospital is located. In addition, the candidates have been jointly selected by the county executive and the judge of the most senior in point service for the Common Pleas Court, which is the Honorable Daniel Gall, and for the probate courts, which is the Honorable Anthony Russo. In addition to Ms. Chappelle being here today, we also have Mike Tobin from Metro Health.
All right, thank you very much. I'll open it up to my colleagues if you have any questions for the director. Deputy Director, I apologize. All right, if there are none, then I will turn it over to you, Ms. Ina Jo Chappelle. If you will unmute yourself and give us a little bit of your background and tell us why you would like to serve on this with this body.
Okay, good morning. My name is Ina Jo Davis Chappelle. Good morning, Madam Chair and distinguished council members. I'm appreciative of the nomination and appointment or potential appointment from County Executive Armin Budish, and I had the pleasure of meeting with at least one of the judges named by Ms. Holly, and that was Judge Russo. I just want to say, and I have a couple of prepared remarks, and I'll get through them quickly. I am a believer in the importance of community and community involvement, and I think that my volunteer work in a community reflects that belief. Whether I'm wearing my legal hat or whether I'm just a volunteer on a board, I take my work for the community very seriously. I'm excited about the innovative work that the Metro leadership is implementing by focusing on community health. Principles around community health being more than just prevention and treatment of disease resonate with me. I think CEO Buttress has been outspoken, incredibly outspoken, about the ills plaguing our society being underlying factors in community health and wellness, and those include the environment and economic development. I have a personal interest in issues around minority health disparities and personal interest around how our hospitals and our healthcare systems are dealing with older patients and patients with dementia. I have very significant personal experience with that, and a lot of that drives my interest around healthcare in our county. I do think that the approach Metro's taken, and our other health systems too, encompassing sort of systemic healthcare problems is significant, and they're focused on meeting the healthcare needs and improved outcomes for our county residents. So all of that is meaningful to me and driving sort of why I would like to serve. The vision and mission that Metro has for health equity and community engagement just is really important, and is part of the reason I'm here today, and part of the reason when I received the call from Armin, and actually a couple of the folks over at Metro had said, hey, we'd like to maybe put your name forward. And I thought about it seriously, and I'm committed to using whatever skill and talent I have to advance the mission and to be supportive of the leadership. I did have this interest in minority health disparities and just, the healthcare system even before the pandemic. And I think that, because of the pandemic, I really, really have been focused on healthcare issues and looking forward to helping with this board's approval, helping the agency move forward. I always desired to be part of the solutions to our challenges in the community. And healthcare is a key one. It's key in our community and key going forward. So my own personal values, I think, align with Metro's mission and vision. Also love the fact and excited about the collaboration that Metro has with Cleveland Clinic, the other healthcare institutions in town, as well as our academic institutions. I'm looking forward to that. I'm aware of some of I'm not aware of all of their programming, but the things that most resonated with me, were the community access focus and the care centers. I actually served on the Cleveland Foundation board with Bob Blick, and so I'm extremely excited to hear of the transformational gift that the Glick family has given to Metro, and will form, I'm sure, help fund lots of other things, but especially the new hospital. And so all of that is really exciting, and I'm hopeful to be a part of it. So I just, I'll stop there. I mean, there's other reasons that I could state that I would like to be a part of the organization to help support the work of this critical gem I mean, it's a really gem of an institution, from its burn center and, I mean, the trauma care. I mean, I don't know all that Metro does, but I look forward to learning. I'm a lifelong learner. And so I look forward to learning if you guys prove me and push me forward, and to use my skills in the best and most useful, productive way to undergird the work of Dr. Boutros and his team. So I thank Armin Budish for his nomination and appointment, and I thank you for your time here today. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for your willingness. I've had the privilege of working with you in many capacities, so I appreciate your willingness to add more to your plate, as I know you wear many hats. Before I open it up, I did want to check in with Mr. Tobin and respectfully ask who Ms. Chappelle is going to be replacing.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the committee for this consideration and to the executive for the nomination. Ms. Chappelle will be replacing, if approved, would be replacing Tom McDonald.
All right, thank you very much. And I see my council colleague, Councilman Miller, has unmuted himself. So Councilman Miller, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And to Ms. Chappelle, I would just say that you are the exactly the right kind of person that we should have on the Metro Health Board. Your experience and work on community health and disparity reduction and other equity issues is well known, and I just really think that there's an important role for Metro Health to play in these issues with the help of your leadership. And
thank you for your kind words.
So the one question that I would like to ask is that what do you think Metro Health could do to help encourage people to be more proactive and take actions on their own to help maintain and improve their health?
Wow, that's a loaded question, Councilman. I think they are doing things. I don't have a full sense of all of the programming. I know community access to healthcare is a priority for the hospital. I know that efforts along those lines are probably ramped up given the pandemic and what we hear in the minority community about individuals having reticence and to get the vaccination and so forth. I know that there's programming, there are initiatives around access and improving access. I can't tell you what exactly they're doing, but I do think, it's an ongoing struggle. I mean, I have my own health challenges, and even though I know what to do, the hard part is doing it. And so, I'm hopeful that I can brainstorm around what's already being done over at Metro to, add my 2 cents, if you will, in trying to fashion even new ways to innovate, to encourage people to really take their health issues seriously and to put them forefront. It's just time seems to be the issue always. Oh, I don't have time to take care of myself. So to the extent that we're able to impress upon folks the importance of making the time and then creating spaces and avenues that they can easily come in, and I think those actually exist in large part at Metro, we will do a lot towards moving the needle along the lines you've indicated.
Thanks very much, Madam Chair.
Councilman
Thanks
Miller.
for your question.
Councilman Sweeney.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Tina Joe, I can only continue the kudos for you. You've been an absolutely wonderful partner for the city of Cleveland and Cuyahoga County for many years, and I appreciate that. And I have 2 questions. One is, I'm the local council person for Metro. It's very exciting, and I'm getting up to speed on the gem, as you called it, and what impact it's going to have. Transformational is an understatement, but it's a pretty cool word. And the thing that excites me the most, besides the quality care, is the investments that's going to go in the neighborhoods. I'm hearing all kinds of fun things that and impactful things, that it's going to be a game changer for the neighborhood that maybe needs a little bit. And with Dr. Boutros, he started off with that. How can I help make this neighborhood equally as I'm going to make this hospital good? So if you want to talk very briefly about your thoughts of the neighborhood component of it. And then I have one other very small question for Mr. Tobin. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman, and thanks for your kind words also. Yeah, I think, most folks didn't realize that, hospitals should do more, and other than being a good neighbor in the community where it resides. And when Metro first rolled out the whole program around acquiring land and developing the real estate and all of those things that we know are integral to the expansion, being integral to community development. I think that there is going to be transformation is overused, but I can't figure out a better word to describe how West 25th Street and that entire area, that you shepherd and steward, is going to benefit in meaningful ways. So it's so much more. I commend Dr. Boutros. I might have heard him speak in a number of places, City Club and so forth. When I first heard him say that, the delivery of medicine and the delivery of healthcare, and healthcare is more than just treatment of disease and prevention. And to your point, it will impact just the work and the expansion of facilities and lifting up the community. Building community is so important, not only to building good and improved health outcomes. So I'm excited about it. I don't know all that it will entail, but I do agree with you wholeheartedly that it is going to have a meaningful and deep impact for the area.
And Madam Chairwoman, just on those comments, most people say they're a partner. They're just part of the neighborhood, which is cool. And Dr. Boutros came from the very beginning. Thank you. So, and Mr. Tobin, can you tell me how the board makeup is in the appointing authorities? How many numbers are on it and who appoints them, so I can have an understanding? I think I used to know that, but I don't know it anymore.
Sure. And just to touch on the point you previously raised, I would just offer that Dr. Boutros always says that if we just build a hospital, we will fail on this project, that it is about community development. It's about a 12-acre park. So we're excited about those things. To answer your specific question, Councilman Sweeney, if Ms. Chappelle is approved, that would put 9 members on the board. It has 10, so we would have 1 remaining vacancy. The county executive has the power to appoint. Often he has been gracious to consult with us and to consult with our board about the skill sets they need and ideas on who they might be. So with this 1 vacancy that exists, I know our chair, Vanessa Whiting, is talking with the board to think about what an ideal candidate would look like, and then they would go back to Michelle Pomerantz and Executive Budish to have a discussion about who might fit that bill.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. May I have a follow-up? I'm going to assume silence is okay, that I'll follow up.
Please proceed.
You said it's all 100% recommended by the county executive and then approved by council?
That is correct.
And then 10 is an odd number because normally boards have 10 is not an odd number, and it seems somewhat odd that it could be a 5-5 tie. So is it by statute or is it by?
It's by Ohio Revised Code.
That there's 10?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I might have to think about that one too. I appreciate that, Madam Chairwoman, and thank you, Mr. Tobin.
Councilman Gallagher.
Madam Chair, how are you today?
I'm great, thank
you. Good to see you. Actually, the appointing authority is shared with the executive, probate court, and a common pleas judge. But having cleared up, Ms. Chappelle, very impressive resume. And my question is actually functional more or mechanical more than anything else. is, do you see any conflict with your position on the Board of Elections conflicting in any way with a position on this board?
Thank you, Councilman, for the question. I did consult with my with our counsel, assistant prosecutor, about whether there was any formal conflict that would prevent me from serving in. The indication that was not. As a practical matter, to the extent any levy issues or any conflicts would come before the Board of Elections, I would obviously recuse, abstain from discussion, and vote. I've had to do that on other issues. Perfectly versed in and happy to continue to be compliant with the Ohio ethics law. And in the event, I mean, your question's astute, there could very well be a situation where there's a levy or something from the metro. And I would, in that instance, exercise recusal.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Jump in. Thank you for Councilman Gallagher. He's correct. The judges are involved. That was my mistake.
Can you tell me what that means, Madam Chairwoman? Involved and appointed authority are two different things.
I believe from a practical standpoint, it means they are consulted and the candidate talks with them and then the judges, offer their thoughts.
All right, and I see
Chair.
Deputy Director Holly, and then our legal counsel, Mr. Boyle, if you have something else you want to add after Deputy Director Holly. Ms. Holly, you have the floor.
Yes, so the process is that the county executive makes a nomination and he provides a nomination letter to both judges, Judge Russo and Judge Gall, and then both of the judges have an opportunity to meet with the potential candidate. And then we can go from there, and they provide us with a signed letter agreeing that they are okay with this nomination.
If I could just add something, Chairwoman Brown.
Boyle, please.
Yeah, just to clarify, Councilman Sweeney, it is in the Ohio Revised Code, and the parameters are that it's not the administrative judge or presiding judge, but rather it is the senior judge in time of service in both the probate court and the Court of Common Pleas. I believe that's Daniel Gall at the Court of Common Pleas, and I believe it's Anthony Russo at the probate court. So it is a three-pronged process that all three of those entities, the county executive, Judge Russo, and Judge Gall, have an opportunity to review and forward an appointment.
Thank you very much for that very specific explanation.
All right, if there are no additional questions, comments, or concerns for Ms. Chappelle? Going once, going twice. All right. Ms. Chappelle, thank you for coming before us. I'll make a motion to move this to the full body of the council under second reading suspension. Do I have a second?
Second, Sweeney.
And seconded by Sweeney. If there are no additional questions, comments, or concerns, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. This will move to the full
Thank
body.
you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. You all have a great day.
Do the same. All right. Council Clerk, if you read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution number 2021-0064, confirming the county executive's appointment of Janet Montoya to serve on the Cuyahoga County Advisory Board on Senior and Adult Services for the term January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2023.
Deputy Director Holly.
Yes. Per Article 3 of the Code of Regulations of the Cuyahoga County Advisory Board on Senior Adult Services, on behalf of the county executive, we submit the following nomination for appointment to the Cuyahoga County Advisory Board on Senior and Adult Services. And in addition to Ms. Montoya being here, we have Tracy Mason from DSAS, who is able to answer any questions that you or your committee members may have.
Thank you very much. I'll open it up to my colleagues for any questions for Ms. Holly or Ms. Mason. Doesn't appear to be any. Ms. Mason, if you wouldn't mind, before we turn the floor over to Ms. Montoya sharing with us, I believe these are all new nominations. She wouldn't be replacing anyone?
Yes, they are. So unfortunately, Ms. Janet was not able to join us with the last group of board appointees. And so we had to reschedule. So this is her rescheduled appointment time. And so this will bring our board up to 24 board members. Our bylaws allow us to go up to 25. So we are still in compliance with our code of regulations.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Ms. Montoya, it appears you have unmuted yourself. So if you'll give us a little bit of your background, state your name for the record and why you'd like to serve in this capacity, please.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Janet Montoya, and I want to first excuse myself for not attending the previous appointment meeting. I had COVID-19 and I was recovering. And I'd like to also state for the record that I am speaking on behalf of myself as a community member. I'd like to also share that as a former employee with the Metro Health Institute for Hope, I was working with a lot of initiatives and leading a lot of projects that was working with the senior population. Ms. Mason can attest to the work that I was doing at Metro Health with the seniors and falls prevention, improving their quality of life and helping seniors age in place. I've always had a passion to working with the senior population. I've always been a caregiver and worked with the seniors. I guess I've been blessed to take care of, 2 seniors in my family, including my mom and my grandmother who just passed. So I'm really fortunate and humbled to be here today and ask you for your support and allowing me to serve on the DSAS advisory committee. I also worked closely with the seniors in Brecksville, where I coordinated and formed an annual safety day. And I did that for 5 years. And I hope to bring all of that knowledge, experience to the committee, and with hopes that we can expand this to other senior centers throughout Cuyahoga County. I'm looking forward to serving on this board if approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your willingness to serve. I want to extend our sincere and deepest condolences for your losses, and very, very happy to see that you seem to be recovering and having hopefully a full and speedy recovery around COVID-19. So thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Today. The one question that I have, and then I'll open it up to my colleagues, is how you learned about the opportunity.
So I'm very involved in my community, not just with the senior population. I've been involved in, or I wear a lot of hats, and I have worked with a Councilman Armin Budish when he was first being elected. I coordinated events where our county executive would meet with our local Hispanic leaders. I assisted in numerous events where I was able to, I don't know if the proper word is staff, but, I was able to walk side by side with him to basically introduce him to the Hispanic community and let the leaders know that, this is our county executive and what his plans were moving forward. I was then approached by Michelle Pomerantz, and this was actually during the time I was recovering from COVID. So I think that was a little healing to the soul when she emailed me and said to me, look, our county executive would like for you to be a part of our DSAS advisory council, because he knows of the work I've been doing with the senior population and falls prevention and matter of balance. We formed partnerships when I was employed at Metro with Fair Hill Partners. So I think I'm one of those leaders out there now that is working with the younger and older adults. So I was approached, I was honored, and here I am today. Again, I apologize for not being at the first meeting, but I was too sick. And anyone that knows me, I know there's a few people on this call that know me very well. I worked through cancer, I worked through any illness, but COVID kicked my butt. I just couldn't get on that call, sorry.
Well, no apologies. We appreciate you coming, and this is exactly why we have you scheduled for today, because we think we owe it to you and the community to be able to present yourself. You present yourself very well, so I think the community and my colleagues will see that you are a worthy nomination and would be a valued addition to this board. So with that said, I will open it up to my colleagues. It looks like your representative, Councilman Sweeney, has either a question or comment. Councilman Sweeney, have the floor.
Thank you very much. And I just wanted to say I have the privilege of being her council person. Know her well. Her smile is infectious, like you can see. Her energy's off the chart. And as her local council person and her friend, I would strongly recommend her getting approval from this committee. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you, Councilman Sweetie. Are there any other, Councilman Miller? I see you've unmuted yourself. You have the floor.
Yes, I would like to wish you the best for a very speedy recovery. And that virus is awful, and I'm glad you're doing better, and certainly understand about the last meeting. And just would like to ask from your experience and knowledge, how well do you think we're doing at getting our senior population vaccinated?
I will speak. Prior to leaving Metro Health, I was working the vaccination clinics where we were collecting social determinants of health screening during that process. And I think that Metro Health is doing an amazing job vaccinating the older population. I know there's a lot of work that needs to be done still, but with partnerships and, a pool of community organizations, I think that, Cuyahoga County can be an example and a role model. I was listening to the governor of Texas not too long ago, who stated that he was allowing the vaccine to be administered to everyone and anyone, regardless of the area that you reside in. I'm not sure how that's taking place in Cuyahoga County, but in Texas, if you were in a separate county, whether you were there for work or visiting someone and the vaccination was available to you, the governor of Texas has allowed people to receive that vaccination everywhere and anywhere in Texas, regardless of where they reside. And again, I don't know what the rules and regulations are for Cuyahoga County, but I think that's an important factor to take into consideration. But I think we are doing a good job. More can be done. I know when I had my second vaccination, it really, really, put me down for the count, even stronger than when I had COVID. So when I see that the seniors are getting this vaccination, I worry a lot for them. I worry for those who are home alone, who don't have access to food, who don't have someone who can take care of them. But again, I think we're doing a good job in Cuyahoga County, but I always feel that there's always room for improvement. Regardless, I feel that for myself, and I feel that for everyone else in whatever role you're playing. There's always room for improvement, but I really believe we're doing a good job in Cuyahoga County.
So thank you very much for that response. And I'm scheduled for my second shot on Saturday, so I'm holding my breath to see what I get.
Well, it's hit or miss. I tell you, motion to that arm, and I tell everyone, have your favorite meal on hand. Seriously, a lot of people are going through a lot of side effects from the second dose, and you'll know within 6 to 8 hours. But like I said, the second dose put me out for the count, really strong. Have your favorite meal, hydrate, and just listen to your body and rest. I know a lot of us, I heard someone mention that we need to find a safe space in our lives, to have self-care. Listen to your body, rest, regardless of what you have going on out there. Take the time to heal if you're not feeling well when you get that second one. I wish you all the best and congratulations on the first dose.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all. Thank you, Ms. Montoya. If there are no additional questions, then I will. Doesn't appear there are any additional questions. So I'll make the motion to move this to the full body of the council under second reading suspension. Do I have a second?
Second, Miller.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. If there are no additional questions, comments, or concerns, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, congratulations. This will move to
Thank you.
council. If you'll read the next item into the record, Council Clerk.
Ordinance number 2021-0002. An ordinance providing for modifications to and adoption of the Cuyahoga County Human Resources Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual to be applicable to all county employees.
All right, who will speak to this item?
Madam Chair, I would like to just make a statement, I guess. I think Mr. Boyle will follow up if there's any questions. And this legislation will amend the county's HR policies and manual. It will codify what is set forth in the revised code to ensure that the county is not in a similar situation in the future. And this was in response to the recent settlement to Scott Rourke. I felt that we needed to add that, even though it wasn't looked at by the administration, we needed to codify and put it in the county code.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone from the policy staff that would like to add anything further? Are there any questions from my colleagues regarding this? Mr. Boyle, is that a
Yeah,
yes?
I'm sorry. I apologize. I was frantically switching back from mute to video.
Unmute. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Yeah, and I apologize for that. Councilwoman Conwell's comments, of course, are accurate. And what the policy staff had done is that we had met with some of the folks from law and digested some of their thoughts in terms of how we could, in a better manner, clarify our HR policies so that future situations would be better addressed.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the committee or my colleagues, Councilman Sweeney?
I'm sorry for talking so much today, but I do have questions. It was very vague, Mr. Boyle. I think I understand it, but can you go in more specifics, or since it's a personnel issue, you can just tell me offline?
No, we can discuss it in whatever detail you want, and I see that the law director is on here as well. More than anything else, it incorporated some of the Ohio Revised Code sections that were what I would say were in play, as it were, in the conversations about the resolution of the matter with Scott Rourke. I don't think that that's improper to have that conversation. And I don't think, again, going back to what Councilwoman Conwell's points were, that this is really, I wouldn't say it's changing anything, but rather making it more clear to the folks that are reading this.
Madam Chair, was this dealing with the leave of absence compared to hire in and fire?
Yes, and what it dealt with was, and again, and Greg can jump in if I'm saying anything inappropriate, but the Ohio Revised Code establishes parameters for leave without pay and timing and situations like that.
Yeah.
And this really just kind of incorporates that into it so that folks who are reading it will know exactly what it says.
Absolutely. So in the future, I got it. Thank you for refreshing my mind. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
I see Greg has unmuted himself. I hope I haven't said anything that's contrary to law.
No, Madam Chair, to the committee, and I think one of the kind of critical points here that this builds into the process that wasn't there before is this requirement that an investigation be done. Because this is more about the actual conduct rather than, say, someone being charged. So the HR director is now required to conduct an investigation and make a determination based on those facts, not just on the mere fact that someone was charged.
And Greg, if I can just follow up on that, one of the things in this particular HR code section that we did kind of expand upon, Councilman Sweeney, to your point, we broke it down so that there would be a delineation of what the employee's rights and obligations are, as well as what the county's rights and obligations are as well. So that, again, in the future, there'll be a clear understanding of what the expectations are.
Clear understanding is absolutely awesome, and keeping the language as tight as possible takes a lot of questions out of it. So thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I'll try not to talk the rest of the meeting.
You're good, Councilman Sweeney. So are there any other questions from the committee or any other comments from our staff? It looks like Mr. McAleer has unmuted himself.
Madam Chair, just one comment on the HR policies and procedure manual. Every employee signs off on receiving that as well. So it's now easier access by each county employee. So to Jim's point, they will know what their rights are in terms of how they can be disciplined or whatever because of the situation. So, and it's also on the My HR system that county employees have to access every day. So it'll just be there for them versus having to go to the Ohio Revised Code to know what the law is.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any additional questions, comments? All right, well, I want to thank you, Councilwoman Conwell, for bringing forth the legislation and having it put before us and lending it to more clarity for not just our purposes, but for our employees as well. So if there's no additional questions, comments, or concerns, I'll actually turn this over to you, Councilwoman Conwell, so you can decide how you like this legislation to move forward.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like this to be moved second reading suspension. I think
I'll
it
second.
behooves us to move this matter because it's basically in a response to what we've done already, and we don't want to get caught into anything else. So I would ask and request that we do the second reading suspension.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Conwell, seconded by myself. Are there any additional questions, comments, or concerns? If there are none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, excellent. Is there any miscellaneous business from the committee? Okay. If there is none, I thank you all for joining us this morning. Stay safe, stay warm, stay safe and healthy and sane. This meeting is adjourned. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye, thank you.